Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to episode 7 of Geek Sports. First of all, apologise for not getting any videos out last week. I was some schedule conflicts with work and other matters, so I was unable to record anything. So I am getting these videos recorded early this morning. It's actually 8:30 in the morning here in the UK. I am due to be going out, even though the weather looks a bit poor today. So I'm getting these videos recorded. There's another video coming after I've recorded this Blue Geek Sports video. They will be going online possibly later this afternoon, if not by the end of the day. So with this video, uh, because of the lateness of it, I won't be covering the quarterfinals and semi-finals of the World Cup. Instead, I'll be focusing just on the final two games of the competition, the third place playoff that took place on Saturday, and of course yesterday's showpiece final. And given my overall thoughts and some statistics from this year's tournament. So the third place playoff on Saturday was between Belgium and England. Heartbreakingly for myself, because the semi-final Croatia was so heartbreaking. To go all the way that far and to take the lead in the semi-final and then just underperform after that was very disappointing. Belgium, again, they were disappointed, having been beaten by France the previous night. The third place playoff is generally one of the most thrilling, but also one of the most pointless games of the whole tournament. The two beaten semi-finalists don't want to be there; they want to go home. It's been a long 4 weeks, but they played the game. There were a few changes from both sides, still fairly strong. Belgium came out on top, 2-0 goals from Meunier and Eden Hazard, so they finish up with the bronze medal. England finished fourth, but they do still go home with some sort of trophy, as Harry Kane um, officially became the tournament's top scorer, even though he hadn't scored since the penalty against Colombia in the last 16. Overall, as far as England go, it's been a brilliant tournament. No one had any expectations for Gareth Southgate and his team going into the tournament. Everyone was thinking, here we go again, when Tunisia equalised in the opening game. They battled on, they got the win. They rewrote all England history by absolutely blowing away Panama in the second game to progress. The reserve team underperformed, losing to Belgium in the final group game. The history books rewritten again in the last 16, beating Colombia on penalties, even though, really speaking, we should have beaten them in normal time. Just a bit of slack defending right at the death. Putting an old bogey team aside in Sweden in the quarters. And yet, we did lose the semi-final, but the whole country was won over by the team. It was a young team, fairly inexperienced. The only two senior players in the entire squad were Ashley Young, who played the majority of the tournament at left wing back, and Gary Cahill, who played in the first Belgium game. They were the two oldest players. Every other player was um, early to mid 20s, so plenty of promise. Got the Nations League coming up in September, and we start building up to European Championships, the majority of the games of which will be taking place at Wembley. So big opportunity there. But still, equaling the 1990 side, one of the most iconic. You couldn't have asked for more, really. As onto the final yesterday afternoon, um, I haven't seen the full game. I've only seen 3.5 minute highlight package on the BBC YouTube channel. It looked a really entertaining game, and by all accounts, it was an entertaining game. France um, winning the game, their second World Cup, 20 years on from when they won it in their own backyard. Some really good goals scored in the game. One or two errors, Mario Mandzukic in particular scored an own goal to give France the lead, and then capitalised on a mistake by Hugo Lloris to get a consolation at the right end. Uh, um, Overall, I'd say France were worthy winners of the tournament. They did play some good football at times. They did have the right attitude with each game. Croatia, no disgrace in them losing in the final. They also performed brilliantly throughout the tournament, and I just feel the final was one step too far for them. The players must have been so leggy. All three of their knockout games went to extra time. Two of them went to penalties. It will catch up on you at some point. Overall, though, it was a fantastic tournament. Russia could not have been better hosts. Um, all the stadiums beautiful. There were some issues with some of the games not selling out, but all the talk about potential hooliganism, I'll leave that one in for free. Hooliganism issues, not a single report of any trouble. Fans mingling, everyone having a good time. Certainly one of the best tournaments in a long, long time. The only really contentious issue was the VAR. It did work for the most part in most games, but there was still one or two issues, particularly in the final yesterday. France giving a contentious penalty even after being reviewed on the VAR. But it's still early days for it. There's still time to work out kinks. I believe it might be getting introduced in the European competitions this season. So we'll see how it goes with that. And possibly next season it'll come into league football. So, as far as stats go, as always with any tournament, just I've just got the stat list up on my phone here. Overall, 169 goals scored in the 64 games. That works out an average of 2.64 goals a game. The only game in the tournament to not have a goal was the France-Denmark game. That finished 0-0. So 63 out of 64 games had goals in, which is a brilliant um, stat for the World Cup. As far as individual goal scoring goes, as I said, Harry Kane finished top scorer with 6. His closest challengers were Romelu Lukaku, Antoine Griezmann, Kylian Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Denis Cheryshev, who all scored 4. Griezmann and Mbappe, of course, scored in the final. One of the more interesting goal stats, thanks to the VAR, 29 penalties were given throughout the course of the tournament. 22 were scored, the most coming from Griezmann, whose that contentious penalty was his 3rd of the tournament. Harry Kane also scored 3 penalties, 2 of them against Panama and the one against Colombia. 7 penalties were missed or saved in the tournament. Likes of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Luka Modric among that list, given a success rate of 75.86, so not too bad. And a new record was set for own goals in the tournament, with 12 doubling the record set 20 years ago. Mandzukic's own goal was the 12th of the tournament. The fastest goal in the tournament was in the first minute. The latest goal to be scored came in the 97th minute. Belgium finished top scorers for the tournament with 16. Germany were among the list for fewest goals, just 2 scored from the now deposed world champions. Panama conceded the most goals with 11, 6 of them against England. Surprisingly, Denmark, Iran and Peru conceded the fewest, just 2 goals between them. Most goals scored in a match, 7. That was recorded 3 times. Belgium thrashing Panama 5-2. England 6-1 win over Panama. And the 7-goal thrill between France and Argentina in the last 16. Russia and England had the biggest margin of victory by 5. Russia recording that with their 5-0 win in the opening game. And again, England-Panama. France achieved the most clean sheets with 4. Argentina and Germany among the list of teams who didn't achieve a clean sheet. Griezmann and Kane were tied for 6th for most goals and assists. Griezmann's 2 assists, including that free kick that led to the own goal in the final, give him 6 overall. Kane was just the 6 goals. 5 goalkeepers achieved 3 clean sheets. Brazilian keeper Alisson, Thibaut Courtois, who won the Golden Glove, Hugo Lloris, Fernando Muslera, and Robin Olsen. The oldest goal scorer in the tournament was Panama's Felipe Beloy, who scored Panama's consolation against England. Kylian Mbappe scored, was the youngest goal scorer with his goal for France against Peru. Belgium and France recorded the most wins in the tournament with 6. England were among the list for most losses with 3, 2 of them against Belgium. Belgium, Croatia and Uruguay picked up the most points in the group stage, with winning all 3 games, with Egypt and Panama being the only pointless teams. As far as disciplinary, 219 bookings, only 4 red cards, which is not too bad. Croatia picked up the most yellow cards of the tournament with 15. Colombia, Germany, Russia and Switzerland all had the most red cards with just 1. As far as the awards for the tournament, as mentioned, young play Golden Boot was Harry Kane, Golden Glove was Thibaut Courtois. Kylian Mbappe won the Young Player of the tournament. Luka Modric won the Golden Ball. Trying to get what the just trying to get what the rest of the trophies for the World Cup. Spare me 1 second. I think that was all the awards. As far as my opinions, Courtois maybe just shades the Golden Gloves. Personally, I think Jordan Pickford should have won it. I've got no complaints about Modric winning the Golden Ball. He was sensational, leading Croatia all the way to the final. Mbappe is only going to get better and better. I mean, winning the French title and the World Cup in only his second full season, it's just sensational. I would have liked Harry Kane to score a few more goals for England, but for whatever reason, he underperformed in England's final 3 games. But beggars can't be choosers. So that is it. That is the World Cup over for 2018. As I said, phenomenal tournament, one of the best. Well done to everyone involved. Congratulations, France, on winning the tournament. But now it is back to club matters. And in case you weren't aware, being caught up with the World Cup hype, a lot of the club football has restarted again. The Champions League and the Europa League have started their qualifiers. The first legs of the first qualifying rounds actually took place the same night as the semi-finals. The second legs are upcoming this week, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Scottish season actually kicked off this past weekend with the first group games in the Betfred League Cup, and for most teams, pre-season friendlies have kicked off. Liverpool have played the most games so far out of the Premier League sides. They've played 3 games up to now. They've got their and fourth and fifth, or just fourth this coming week. Arsenal began their campaign on Saturday with a 8-0 victory against only Boreham Wood. That was in Unai Emery's first game in charge. My team, Everton, they kicked off their pre-season on Saturday with a rather bizarre 22-0 win against an Austrian 5th division team, which was arranged as we were using the club's facilities. Our first proper friendly takes place on Wednesday night against Bury. So yeah, football's nearly back. It's in fact 3 weeks on Friday is when the Premier League resumes. So it's getting back to the nitty gritty. This will be the last episode of Blue Geek Sports for now until possibly the Thursday before the English season starts, is when I will post a Blue Geek Sports video previewing the Premier League season. So look out for that. That's coming. That'll be in 3 weeks' time. Until then, thank you for watching these first few Blue Geek Sports videos. It is much appreciated. It's just something something new I wanted to try out for the channel. So leave your thoughts down below on how you thought the World Cup was. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I've been the Blue Geek. This has been Blue Geek Sports on the Blue Geek Review channel. Take care.